What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Ethereum. Who are we talking about Ethereum for? Talking about it for you, Neil S. Dreesens. We're doing it for you, my friend. Hit that like button, you guys. Let's get going. Okay, so here we are sitting at about $3,368. Hell of a dump yesterday. You moved down about 8.25%. Good job. What did others drop? What did others drop? Others dropped about the same. Okay, so and that makes sense. Others tracks Ethereum pretty well, to be completely fair. So looking at it here from relative high to relative low, hit your golden ratio, broke below the 382. That's not normally a good look, but to be fair, it's kind of been common this cycle where you do this and then you bounce off your 236 or something like that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but hope is not needed to be abandoned yet, if that makes sense. Pulled right down to your golden ratio here to find support. You could go a little lower. Just because you're right here at the golden ratio, the 618 at 3,331, doesn't mean you have to bounce there. You could go a little bit lower and bounce there, right? You could go maybe another like 50 bucks lower or something like that, but you're at 3,368 now. Regardless if you go a little bit lower in the short term or you move up from here in the short term and then move down, whatever it is that you do in the short term, right? After this week, going into next week, going into the end of the month, going into the months after that, you're only progressing higher. And it really could be, maybe not even next week, it could be today that you start moving up again. I do suspect that this move largely, like if this was a high, right, and I think it is a high, a relative high, this move down is already largely over. I don't think that it's going to be a continuation of this move down. I don't think that we're going to do that. I don't suspect that it takes us lower than this, though. Maybe it goes a little bit lower, but I think it's largely over. It's very close to being over. If not, it already is over. I don't think that we go lower. Right, we look at the daily RSI here, and you've got some lower highs and lower lows. You are in a downtrend in the RSI. If we go here, lower highs, kind of connecting the dots pretty well there. And you rejected right off of that, to be fair. Lower lows, okay. This high brought you to this low on the trend line. This high brought you down to this low on the trend line. This high brought you to, potentially, a higher low. In which case you might be changing trends. You might be looking to break out of this on this next move up, potentially. If you're getting higher lows and higher highs, you would break out of this on that next trend or on that next move up. Bouncing off the 40 area too, throw that in with the whole mix. Bouncing off the 40 is a very bullish thing to do. Suggested that you could go a little bit lower. You might close today a little bit lower, maybe. But you do like to find support here, right? You've previously found support right here. You found support in this area before, in this area before, in this area before, all these times, right? You found resistance in this area, kind of the same area that you're at now. But just, you know, you look back, you look left, it's very significant on a daily time frame, which is a very significant area in itself. I'm assuming you probably don't move too much lower, okay? Probably not, but a little bit lower, sure. But from your current low, maybe like 50 bucks lower, so not too much. Look at the 4-hour time frame, already oversold, pretty damn oversold actually. We look back, we look left here. And you can see that the RSI generally does not like to get lower than this current reading. That doesn't mean the price doesn't like to get lower, but the RSI, most of the time you bottom out above this line, not below it, but if not pretty damn close to it, right? We could, again, go a little bit lower, but probably not too much lower. I want to do something real quick. I just want to go through and I want to put vertical lines real quick, just for fun. Let's just do this and just look. Go ahead and put vertical lines at all of these lows. Low there, low there, low there, low there. Anything that's near the line or past the line we'll go for, all right? And I'll put... And I think it'll be obvious there were lows before that one, actually, right? And then low here. We'll get a low on that one too, pretty close to the line. This one here. This one here. Not too close. Close enough. A little bit through it. Okay, so every time right there. Now we're going to look back. And you can see, well, very clearly, first and foremost, I want to say that this is not what I expect. This right here is not what I expect Ethereum to do. I don't think that we're going to go in a long-term downtrend, but in this downtrend, at that low point in the RSI, you're at a relative low point of the price. At the low point in the RSI, you're at a relative low point at the price. At the low point, relative low point, right? Each time you moved up to the right of these white lines, you moved up in a very short amount of time. You moved up, up, and then down. Clearly, the trend is down, right? That's why I started with that first. But right after the white lines, you moved up. Here, this would be the one argument. You moved up a little bit immediately, but rather down immediately, to be completely fair. This one as well. But then afterwards, you kind of moved up This one as well. So there has been a handful of times specifically at this bottom, and generally things like your oscillators, your RSIs, your indicators, they are less respected when you're in phases of moving sideways, to be completely fair. So make no mistake that this kind of form of analysis we're doing here doesn't stand as true in this sideways zone. But then coming out of the sideways zone, boom, at your low point there, boom, at your low point there. I'm just saying, even in the downtrend, we were at our low points. On the sideways trend is when things got knocked off a little bit. To be fair, we're kind of in a relative sideways trend now, but it's nothing like this. I don't think it gets knocked off. I think that right now, if we were to draw a vertical line here, it would be more or less appropriate. And the only reason I'm not is because we don't know if we go a little bit lower or not. But when we do get this low put in, whenever we do get some kind of movement up in the RSI, likely we're going to see some significant growth in Ethereum. And I suspect that significant growth wouldn't take us to lower highs and then promote lower lows afterwards. I don't think that it's going to be like this downtrend. I think that it will take us to higher highs and break us out of this trend, actually. I think it'll break us out, not of this 4-hour trend, but out of this daily trend where we are, moving down here. So I do suspect Ethereum's very near to its low, in case it's not clear. Very, very near, if not at its low. I think you're on the precipice now of breaking out to new all-time highs, quite literally. You're at $3,367. Your next targets are $4,400, and you can get excited about that essentially when we take out this top here that you just put in at $37.50. You get above, really it's $37.43. You get above $37.43, it's time to get excited about targets that are about $700 higher, maybe even $1,000 higher or beyond, right? This is your primary target zone. I suspect you do go past that. By the end of February, I think Ethereum will be worth, if not at least $5,200, something between there and $6,500 or higher. 52 to 65 or higher by the end of February. By the end of January, I'm thinking at least 4,400, if not probably closer to 5,000. Probably in that 53 to 48 range is what I'm thinking by the end of January. And here we are now. So if anybody's wondering, but what does this mean for crypto? Are we going to move down? Ethereum looks like it has a head and shoulders pattern. It's not a head and shoulders pattern. It doesn't look like it. It's a weird head and shoulders pattern if it is. And not to say that you can't have weird patterns, you can, but I don't think it's a head and shoulders pattern. I don't think that this is going to be anything significant at all, and I think that the market's overreacting. We're going to recover tomorrow or the next day sometime this week, and everything's going to be fine. So I got nothing else for you guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I would not be surprised if Ethereum moved a little bit lower, but just a little bit. You already got some pretty intense bullish divergence on your 1 hour time frame. Pretty intense, very intense actually. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you on the next one.